Self-examination. And that's a hard one too. But then the other thing, and last thing that we'll discuss this evening, back in Hebrews chapter 12, is our focus. Look at verse number 2. Say, looking unto Jesus. After we've seen the cloud of witnesses, after we've dealt with this weight and sin in our life, and we understand we got to endure and have patience in the race, he says, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Where's our focus? Our focus is on the Lord. This is the key, folks. To endure in this race we're in, we have to keep our focus on Jesus. It's interesting how the Hebrew writer describes Jesus. He describes him as the author and finisher of our faith. I looked up that word author in the original Greek. I'm not going to try to attempt what that word was, but it means leader. It actually means leader. One who has set an example before him. Talking about Jesus. Jesus has set the example for us. When I was thinking about this, the way I look at it is we're in this race here upon this earth. And in any race, when you're upon the earth, a physical race, especially a marathon, if you've ever watched them on TV, they have the streets barricaded so that you clearly know where you got to go through the winding streets of that city to the finish line. Well, guess what? The race of life here upon the earth, the Christian race, there are no barriers out there that we can see for ourselves. We're living our life, we're doing this, we come to a situation, if there's not some way to signal danger, 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 what are we going to do? This is why our focus needs to be on Jesus, because he is our leader. He's the example that we're supposed to be following, and he's the finisher. And what that means is that he's lived the life here upon the earth. He was here, God in the flesh, living the life that we live, being tempted in all points such as we, yet without sin. Hebrew writer again will tell us. He's been through it all. He knows the warning signs. He's seen the dangers. And guess what? He's gone through it all, and now he's finished. He is set up down on the right hand of God the Father in heaven. He made it, folks. He just didn't almost. He made it. That's where we want to go. That's where the end of the race for us is, where he is at. He's the author, he's the leader, and he's the finisher of our faith. And we would just focus on him and him alone and the life that he lived here upon the earth. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to see those barriers. There are going to be danger signs flashing red in our faces when we come into a situation. Why? Because we're following Jesus. Our focus is on Jesus. And we won't have to get ensnared in that sin anymore. As I was thinking about this, and just one final point, and the lesson will be yours here. Go back to Mother Eve, back in Genesis. In Genesis chapter 2, God created man and told him, dress the garden, keep it, make sure it's pretty. But that tree of fruit of knowledge of good and evil, don't eat it. The day you eat thereof, you shall surely die. Now, we don't know how long it is from that point to Genesis chapter 3. It could be one day, it could be 1 week, a month, year, 10 years, 100 years. We just don't know. But most likely there was a time between those two. What was Adam and Eve doing all that time? They were dressing and keeping the garden. How many times did they walk by that tree and see that fruit hanging off that tree? Didn't bother them any. Well, what happened? Satan comes along in Genesis chapter 3 and he throws a wrench into the whole thing. He takes their focus off of what God has said and he puts her focus to that little piece of fruit that was hanging there. Just one simple suggestion. And her focus came away from God onto that piece of fruit. Look how beautiful it is. Look how wonderful. Look at the things that it can do for me. She lost her focus. There are things in this world that can take you away from God just for a second. We're not careful. That's why we always need to humble ourselves and know and understand that that can happen to me. I know it. We all got struggles. We all got things going on in our life. Any one of those would be like that piece of fruit that hung there in front of no reason. And it could take us away from God. But again, the Hebrew writer tells us, under no uncertain circumstances, we can do it. Don't give up on it. Because when you do, you'll have that wonderful home in heaven where Jesus, the author, the leader, and the finisher of our faith, is in. And so this evening, as we close our Bibles, and we offer up the invitation song that Brother Cliff has selected, we just simply ask you, and this lesson, of course, has been to primarily the Christians, but we just simply ask you this evening, are you a child of God? You know, if you're not a child of God, then you look to those great cloud of witnesses, and you can look at them and have awe and how wonderful they are, but if you're not a Christian, it's meaningless. You've got to start that race. You're not in the race yet. You've got to start that race. And how you start that race is by following God's plan to save mankind. Hear the Word. By hearing the Word, it produces the faith that you need to have, faith in Jesus Christ, faith in the gospel, faith in what God has said. You believe those things. Based upon that belief, you understand your condition, that you are before God a sinner, condemned to doom. You need to change your life. You have that thing that we call repentance, which is a change of heart, change of mind. I no longer want to be this individual that I am now. I want to be this individual over here. And then we come to confession, which is really the first fruit, if you will, of repentance. The first outward expression of our repentance. We denounce the world and we accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, our Master, our author and finisher of our faith. And by doing so, He has commanded us several times in the Scriptures to be baptized in water for the remission of sins. And then do what your Master that you have now confessed as being your Master has told you to do. That's belief. Trusting that's what He says to do, so I'm going to do it for the reasons that He said to do it, for the remission of sins. If you do those things, you can now start the race. Remember, it's a race of endurance, it's a race of patience. We have to patiently keep going in this race. For us other Christians who have entered into the race, maybe there's a weight, maybe there's a sin that's come in our lives that we need to shut off. Now is your opportunity to do it. Now is the time to shut it off, get rid of it, so that you will not be weighed down in this wonderful race that we call the Christian life. Something of a private nature, I implore you right now to go to God in prayer. Ask for His forgiveness. He is faithful and just to forgive you. If it's something that you need to confess publicly, we invite you to come down the aisle. We'll talk with you. We'll pray with you. We'll pray for you. You know, it's not our prayer that forgives you. It's the blood of Jesus Christ that will forgive you. And again, we can all walk out that door knowing that the weight of sin is off our shoulders, and we can run that wonderful, wonderful race once again. So again, as you contemplate these things, and we sing the invitation song, we just ask you if you have any need to come forward as we stand and sing.